What did you guys think of the versus battle between Krs-One and the BIGDADDYKANE? Yo, the two OGs went at it toe to toe. Yo, take you back to the 80s. Started the Breaking movies, Breaking 1 and 2. Great book. Alonzo Williams from the World Class Wrecking Crew. It's entitled Not Without Alonzo in WA. He talks about the World Class Wrecking Crew, stuff like that. So check it out. But back to the verses. These two dudes have so much stage presence and lyrical ability. I mean, most people I see are saying, they don't know, they can't decide who won. I mean, of course, both guys have tremendous stage presence. Lyrical ability is off the charts. KRS knows how to control a crowd probably better than any rapper that, you'd have to really look to find a guy that knows how to get the crowd going more than KRS. And Big Daddy Kane, I mean, this dude's lyrics, that line he said about, you won't stop when you stop bleeding, that's when my men will pause. I was like, oh, shoot. Big Daddy Kane always had lyrics. I mean, to me, when KRS started with BDP, Boogie Down Productions, with the Criminal Minded album, that album, and then the next one, those were probably his strongest albums. After that, it was like, But I stuck with Big Daddy Kane all the way through, mainly, I think it was his third or fourth album. But Big Daddy Kane's first two albums were solid. It's like guys kind of changed up their styles a little bit on the third album for some reason. I say, why change? If people were buying that style, why would you switch up? But both guys went head to head. KRS started taking shots at the beginning. Big Daddy Kane did come out and he said, they said something about technical difficulties. He said, ain't no technical difficulties. He's scared to come out the dressing room or something like that. And then the Kane comes out, took off the fedora later, had the fade like he used to wear. So both guys got tremendous stage presence. I think Big Daddy Kane lyrically is a little more witty than KRS. KRS knows how to jump back into the Jamaican style, and I noticed he kept doing that with some of the songs. He was, running out of breath a little bit, but both guys had great breath control. They sang their hits, and then some others that weren't, maybe some of the household tunes that people knew. Only the true people that bought the albums would know some of the songs that they did. But when Big Daddy Kane brought out Roxanne Shante, he brought out Master Ace from the Symphony. He brought out, Cool G Rap couldn't show up for some reason. He brought out, who's the other guy on the Symphony? Can't think of it. Anyway, he sang that, and then they brought out the breakers and everything. They had the dancers going at it. It was like a throwback. You felt like you were in the 80s or early 90s again. And that made me think which verses what I would like to see. And it's not a battle between rappers, but, I'm subscribed to his page, and that would be Poppin' Pete versus Turbo from Breaking. Now, if you haven't seen Poppin' Pete, go check him out on YouTube. This dude, if you watch the Breaking movies, he doesn't really show, you don't get a good feel for his ability. But watch him on YouTube. This dude traveled the world giving classes and, overseas, I believe in Korea, maybe even China. But this dude, I used to think Turbo was the best, and we found out that Turbo worked with Michael Jackson and maybe showed him the moonwalk or taught him some things. Poppin' Pete worked with Chris Brown. So I used to think Turbo was the most solid, and he's good at what he does. But if you see Poppin' Pete, he's just more well-rounded, and I think he would take that battle, but I'd still like to see it. So I'd like to see Poppin' Pete versus Boogaloo Shrimp. That's Turbo from the Breaking movies. It would be epic battle. I'd like to see that. Anyway, back to KRS and Big Daddy Kane. They're going at it, and I noticed that Big Daddy Kane would take some more shots at Kane. Kane was showing more respect. But one thing that I just hate about rap and hip hop, I just get tired of all the foul language, like dudes screaming, cussing at the crowd. Kane didn't do so much of it. It was more of the host. But I just get tired of dudes yelling, and it's like they feel strong because they dropped a F-bomb or something. Like, dude, that don't make you a G because you dropped a F-bomb. Don't make you a good rapper either. Just get tired of that. Just do your songs. You get the crowd going. You ain't gotta cuss at people. Stop. But who would I say won the battle? For me, just because I'm more into lyrics, I would have to go with Big Daddy Kane. KRS, of course, has that, like I said, he's revved up. He's got that, he's got lots of energy. Even though he got tired, he still has lots of energy. Both these guys are in their 50s. And I'm just more into lyrics. And Kane's got the lyrics over his sound lyrically as KRS can be. He's gotten kind of weird in the later years with, he's got some crazy beliefs, but I'm not talking about his beliefs. Just his lyrical ability, as sound as KRS is, Big Daddy Kane is still more witty. That's why when people used to talk about who was better between Rakim and Big Daddy Kane, I always went with Kane because Kane is more witty and lyrical. I mean, Rakim has more of a play on words. He knows how to play with words, and and everybody likes that line about I take 7 MCs, put them in a line. Everybody likes that. Was clever. But Big Daddy Kane's got more stuff that you used to have to rewind. Like, what did he say? And then you'd be like, man, that was just clever. And the ladies love Big Daddy Kane. I'm going with Big Daddy Kane. Maybe a photo finish, but I'm gonna have to go with the Big Daddy Kane. KRS, like I said, he was ready for a real battle. He was trying to freestyle, and then Big Daddy Kane would freestyle. And the thing about it, another shot that KRS took at Big Daddy Kane, when something happened, they weren't playing no music or something. He was like, they running out of records. Like, that's what's happening right now. That's why you don't hear no songs. They're running out of albums. But the DJ was DJ Scratch. He used to work with EPMD. You had Kid Capri. Remember, he used to host Def Comedy Jam. And, Kid Capri, anybody that, grew up in the 80s and 90s. So, it just took you back to the OG days when lyrics mattered. There was none of this mumble rap that you hear now, these auto-tune and every beat sounds the same. It's like back then, biting was considered whack. You were whack if you took somebody else's style, unless you were like in the gimmicky things like, what was it, Bobby, Jimmy, and the Critters. They would copy songs like Roaches and all that, and they would take songs from this artist and make it, funny. But if you weren't doing that, if you took somebody else's style, you were considered whack and nobody wanted to pay attention. Like, you remember the Skinny Boys? They try to, kind of play on the Fat Boys, but they weren't doing, they weren't like a novelty act. They were really trying to be like, hey, we're the Skinny Boys. Instead of the human beatbox, they had the human jock box. I was like, And from what I remember, there's no way their music was near as good as the Fat Boys. Fat Boys had Curtis Blow doing their music in the early days, and Fat Boys started off with some hard beats that people still take to this day. And I don't like what rap has turned into. I can't listen to this new stuff. It's garbage. I don't care what anybody says. They could talk about, oh, well, that's just because you grew up there. No. If you play that stuff and then play this modern stuff, you can hear the difference in quality in the music, the production, the lyrics, everything. But I'm gonna say Big Daddy Kane took it. Like I said, let me know, who you think won the versus battle. Saw Busta Rhymes in the crowd and among some other top rappers. Let's see. Like I said, who would you guys like to see on the next versus? I say not a rap battle, but I want to see Poppin' Pete against Boogaloo Shrimp Turbo from the Breaking Movies. And now I need you to subscribe worldwide. I'm from the West Side. I'm dropping bars, more bars than Alcatraz. When you see this channel, I know you gonna spaz out. Never clout chase. Look me in the face like a man. Subscribe with your left or your right hand. Not clumsy, cause I ain't tripped yet. I do you worse than Jada did the Dipset. Bars, yeah. Yeah, bars. Go ahead, you can take that. I won't charge you. It's the J. Roos Theory. Make sure to subscribe. Go subscribe to my backup channel as well in WJ. Thanks for watching. Yay, yay. Forgot to mention DOS Effects came out. Nice and smooth. Greg Nice, that dude. I always like Greg Nice. He just he's him and Tupac were real close too. But Greg Nice just has stage presence. I forgot to mention them. What's his name? Buckshot Shorty came out. I remember when Buckshot came out, he walked over to he walked over to Kane. I thought he was gonna start trying to battle Kane, and Kane's sitting there looking at him like, really? Like, dude, I'll crush you right here. But yeah, they were there. DOS Effects, like I said. Roxanne Shante, Nice and Smooth. Oh yeah, Craig G's another one that I forgot his name on the symphony. Master Ace was out there. Master Ace, dude, you thought he was lyrical in the symphony. I heard him, like now. Oh my goodness, that dude got lyrics. Just put it like that. Anyway, just didn't want to forget those dudes because they're big names in rap. DOS Effects was talking about they want to battle somebody on verses. I don't really know who can battle them. Crazy Drazy, that dude's lyrics is woo. The other dude too, was his name Scoob or something? Oh yeah, Kane brought out his dancer, one of his dancers. I think it was Scoob, but I think his name was Scoob too. And they did their little step. Little Daddy Shane was in the audience. They didn't really show him. You just saw his arm, give a dap to Big Daddy Kane. It was his birthday or something. So, yeah, the OGs were out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Just had to mention that. Be fearless.